everything they stand for, they had a terrific strategy. Put aside theological differences and work together nationally and locally on important political issues. Their religious right successors now cooperate on a religious political agenda that includes preventing gay marriage and women's reproductive choices. I hope you're not fooling me. Denigrating evolution as just a theory, and claiming that our country was founded as a Christian nation that allows freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. I boo too, but there's something more important we should do than boo. To help counter this move toward an American theocracy, the Secular Coalition was formed in 2002 and now has 11 national. To some of the folks who will organize and help do the logistics on rallies here on the mall, we, in the rain, have equaled the numbers for Glenn Beck's rally. How sweet is that? Clearly God is smiling on us today. Folks, will you please welcome another very brilliant man who devotes his life to so many good causes. This gentleman is the spokesperson for the Secular Student Alliance. He's the press coordinator for this rally. He's done an amazing job. Please welcome Mr. Jesse Galef.
Coming up with a provocative subtitle. I mean to say it offends us in our most basic integrity. It says we can't be moral without Big Brother, without totalitarian religion. We can't be good to one another without this. We must be afraid. We must also be forced to love someone we fear. The essence of sadomasochism.
Your head's fine.
It's some plan of mass destruction, extermination, annihilation, time, situation, on a scale that's absolutely beyond our imagination. You can tell people what to check on.
What's wrong? It's alright.
Some say religion is poison. I would agree. I'm gonna tell you why.
And so convinced that they are doing the right thing out of passion, love, and trying to help people, when it is absolute poison, when it is absolute destruction.
Check it. Now, who's the one that is responsible for how the world is? Who's the one that is responsible for how we all live? Takes the negative influences and poisons all the kids. So you just repeat the stupidness that you and I did. Who's the species that wallows in this puddle of mud? Who's the one that painted the planet in buckets of blood? Who's the one that begs a God for forgiveness of sin and turns right around the next day and does it again?
What a freaking crowd. I love this. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for having me here. And no creepy comments about Carrie anymore. Cut that shit out, okay? I have been racking my brain for the past few weeks trying to think of ways to talk about reason and being reasonable. It turns out it's not a simple subject. I am a very non-confrontational person. I am most of the time the very definition of a reasonable man. I don't like telling people things they don't want to hear. I want people to get along. I want people to like me. I want to find good things in people. I want to understand viewpoints that differ from mine. I want my tombstone to say, he was nice to work with. I have children. I want to raise them in a world they can add value to, that has value to them. I want for them to feel entitled only to working hard at doing what they love in order to be excellent at it and to share their lives and the rewards with those that they love. Of course, I think this is all anyone wants for their children or themselves. I try and inculcate them with a sense of logic about the world, which means most of the time I'm pointing out things to them that are absurd and ridiculous as a counterpoint. And right now, there is plenty to point to. I console myself, however, with the thought that for anyone truly paying attention, or at least the last 300 years, the world has always been chock full of absurd contradictions and has always seemed to be going downhill and fast. I get this when I read Thomas Jefferson, when I read Camus, when I read Vonnegut. I console myself with the remarkable advances in the sciences. I play a scientist on TV. I am in awe of those that do it for real. Testable, provable phenomena and the predictions they allow, big and small, brought me here in front of you today. And they will take me back to my family when I am done. They allowed me to drive to DC on a bus, type my speech on a screen, ride to this rally in a car, walk on shoes that support my feet, and wear clothes and a hat that protects my pale skin from the sun. To fly on a plane home. That plane I will get on exists and stays in the air because of a million large and tiny tested predictions about lift, drag, material performance, physics, electricity, radio waves, wear, tear, shear, checklists, human error, machine error, and redundancy. It is a miracle of engineering. It is the result of an ancient and very human drive, a drive that makes us what we are.
The internal memory,
in
you know
all
that.
of our unique specializations. A drive
You've been
to solve
fucking up this whole time.
Many tens of
How are you?
thousands of people
I'm fine,
combine
you?
Break the
their
concentration.
collective genius
That's
to
all.
make
Like a
an
metalhead. Is that a
impossibly
metal team?
fast and efficient,
Who are you wearing?
thin,
Oh,
inflated
zombie.
bubble
Zombie.
balloon
Just random
so
zombie.
stable and secure that you'd have to fly for several thousand years before the odds gave you an even
I can
chance
almost
of
see
being
a
in an
person
accident.
up there. Damn it.
Yeah.
Everything that we
Umbrella
have
sign,
that makes
sign,
our
sign.
lives possible
Yeah.
exists
Where y'all hail from?
because human beings have tested the
From
things
Alabama.
they found in
Oh, a
their
little bit further down from us.
Yeah,
predictions
worse.
based on
Darker
those tests
part of dark.
and then improved upon them. This is reason, the
Got a
human
name, brother?
capacity
David.
to make sense
Nicholas.
of the world.
I'm Nicholas. Glad to see more metalheads down here. We represent a pretty big portion, I think. We've been doing it since, like, I don't know, Brain and
Here are
Blood.
some other things that, like the components of the airplane,
I'm
have
gonna
been
go around with other
tested
people.
and
See y'all around.
proven. I'm going to call them facts. E equals MC fucking squared. Equals mass times acceleration. The Earth is not the center of the universe. Man landed on the moon in 1969 and a few times thereafter. Burning airplane fuel caused a tragic, catastrophic collapse of the Twin Towers in 2001. The Earth is spherical. Well, not precisely round, it is officially slightly pear-shaped. Human industry is causing a significant rise in the Earth's overall temperature. The Earth is over 4 billion years old. Evolution is literally a fact of life. As Neil deGrasse Tyson says, facts are true whether or not you believe them. Now, here are some of my beliefs that are true to me. You cannot teach kids about sex by telling them not to have it. I believe that making drugs illegal is stupid and damaging to us as a people. I believe that if we take care of our surroundings, they will take care of us. I believe that inside every tool is a hammer. right to choose what to do with their own bodies. I believe that in the community it is our duty that we should take care of each other in times of need. I believe that if you tell people the truth and let them make decisions based on that, much of the time they'll make pretty good decisions, but not always. I believe that that which is detestable to you, you should not do to another. I believe that while not all people are essentially good, most are trying. I believe that rules do not make us moral. Loving each other makes us moral. Careful, empirical analysis and much thought that somebody is looking out for me, keeping track of what I think about things, forgiving me when I do less than I ought, giving me strength to shoot for more than I think I'm capable of. I believe they know everything that I do and think, and they still love me, and I've concluded after careful consideration that this person keeping score is me.
Oops.
Tim's such a non-believer, he doesn't even believe in shoes.
What's wrong with you people standing in the rain because you all don't think something similar? I don't think this is going to work. It's a song called Confessions in 3 movements. And the first movement is entitled Feminism. It goes out to Rebecca Watson. Even these people can be divided. I believe that women have the right to walk the streets at night without being afraid for their lives. And I believe a woman has the right to choose what happens to her body without suffering the judgment of the conservative right. And I believe a woman has the right to wear the clothes she likes without being treated like dirt. And I think we men are pathetic, how we seem to use aesthetics as the measure of a woman's worth. I'm ashamed on behalf of my sex for making women feel like objects. Fuck, I love boobs though. I just really love them. Fuck, I love boobs though. I just wanna rub them. They are just so juvie, they make me feel groovy. I would rather watch boobs than a movie. I just really love boobs. Second movement is entitled Poverty, open bracket, altruism. Close bracket. People are entitled to basic human rights, whether they are rich or they're poor. And I believe a world where no children are starving is a world worth fighting for. And the and I don't think it's okay that the luxuries I crave should come at the expense of my fellow man. I'm sure we could do a little more to alleviate the suffering of the poor. Like I love boobs though. I just really love them. I don't really mind if I am behind, below or above them. They are just so jubbly, they make me feel lovely. I would rather own boobs than a pub. I just really love. What?
We're right.
Yeah, ATS boobs, yeah. This is entitled The Environment. I believe the planet that we live in is a living organism and we must treat her carefully. I don't think we can assume we can just go and consume her resources indefinitely. The earth's not a bottomless pit, but we can all do our little bit. I love boobs. I just really care for them. They are equally fun when they're 21, octogenarian. They are just so flappy, they make me feel happy. I would rather eat a boob than a bat. Beat a It's really loud. Evolutionary theory says bosoms are buttock-like protrusions designed to tempt men in situations when they can't get a glimpse of girls' bums. I find such hypotheses dumb. It's like that one that says lipstick is for making your lips look more like the lips of a happy vagina. Since they said that I can't look my great aunt in the eye, why do you have to say that? The first little suck of colostrum broke up the nurse in the old people's hostel. We're just fucking monkeys in shoes. Everyone Who would have thought that there'd be a small tribute to Whitney Houston at this rally? Unexpected. She's no longer in pain. Hi! This is fun, I guess. This is sort of fun. I don't want to be here. We don't want to have to be here. Do you really, isn't it? That's 300 years after the Enlightenment. We still have to be here, having fucking rally for the obvious. At least that's what I thought. But actually I had an experience recently that kind of changed my take on a lot of this sort of stuff. And I want to share it to you because I'm not going to be doing some of the more sort of God-bashing stuff that I used to do because this thing happened, right? I'll tell you because I think you deserve an explanation. why I'm not doing songs about irreligious songs anymore.
Oh.
Just enjoying the silence. What happened? This is what happened, right? True story. This is an entirely true story. I was in Melbourne, in Australia, in Victoria, down the southeast of Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne. Come on. Australians aren't meant to yell when they hear geography they recognise. That's an American habit. Don't yell just because you recognise the geography. No, do. Melbourne. I was in Melbourne and I was doing a gig in a bar, a small bar, and I was standing there after the gig with a small group of comedians, and I noticed this bloke down the end of the bar, very striking bloke he was. He was about 6'2", one of these kind of Aussie, bronzed Aussie guys, shirt open down to about here, hairless and tanned guy he was. But I also noticed him because hanging around his neck, lying against his tanned, hairless chest on the end of a quite prominent silver chain, was a quite prominent silver cross. You know, the kind of cross you might wear if you're a fan of intersections. Or the lowercase letter T. But probably most commonly if you're a fan of the apparatus upon which first century Romans tortured and put to death thieves and Jewish insurgents. Anyway, he was standing there and he was looking at us, and I could tell he wanted to come over to us. He had that look about him. He was very intense. He was on his own. It was slightly weird. Eventually he came over with his torture equipment flapping against his chest, and he said, "G'day Tim, my name's Sam." His name, it appears, was Sam. And he said, "I'm from Dandenong." Dandenong, for those who don't know, is an outer suburb in the hills just outside Melbourne and Victoria in Australia. And eventually he got talking and he was talking. He's one of those guys who didn't have a very good understanding of personal space, but he was very passionate, and I respect that. But I could tell he wanted to say something, and eventually he said, "I want to say something." So he's right. And he said, I've always wanted to ask you something, because I'm a big fan of your work, and I don't want you to think I'm offended or nothing, because I'm not. But I'm a Christian. That settled that. He said, "I've always wanted to ask you, because you do a lot of material about God and stuff, but you've never answered for me the fundamental question of why. Why you don't believe in God." And I said, "Well, Sam, I don't believe in God for the same reason that anyone who doesn't believe in a thing doesn't believe in it, because I haven't yet been offered enough evidence to allay my doubts." And he said, "But you don't just go through your whole life only believing things that you got evidence for, do you?" And I said, "Yep." Yeah, that's pretty much how thus far I've managed to wade my way through my tepid existence. Yeah. And he said, "What about love?" And I said, "What about love?" And he said, "Do you believe in love?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so, Sam. Yeah, I believe in love. I feel love. I feel loved. Yeah, I believe in love." And he said, "Aha! You don't have any evidence for love?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, sure. Love without evidence is stalking." So it was going fine, right? And then Sam said this. He told me the story of his mum, an incredible story, and I'll tell you it now as quickly as I can. Apparently Sam's mum in her early 60s had developed a problem with her eyes, and she didn't want to go to the doctor. She didn't like the idea of doctors, but eventually they cajoled her into going. And the GP, the MD, took one look at her eye and said, "You must see a specialist as soon as possible. This is a degenerative eye disorder. If you don't have surgery, you will go blind." And Sam's mum was afraid because she didn't trust doctors, she didn't believe in modern medicine. But Sam and his mum had their church there in the hills, in the Dandenong Ranges outside Melbourne and Victoria in Australia. There was one of these big glass, really popular churches. And it was to their church that they went that Sunday. And apparently the entire packed congregation of some 3,000 people all simultaneously prayed for Sam's mum. And the following Tuesday, when they went to the specialist, there was no sign whatsoever that there'd been anything wrong with her eyes. They were perfectly healthy. She was cured. She'd been healed. And the reason this story had such an impact on me is I try more than anything else to to be intellectually honest, you know, with myself and with others. And all I've ever said is I want evidence, and here I was for the first time experiencing a first-person account of what can only be described as a miracle. So I went right on home and I wrote this song. I have an apology to make. I'm afraid I've made a big mistake. I turned my face away from you, Lord. I was too blind to see the light. I was too meek to feel your might. I closed my eyes, I couldn't see the truth, Lord. But then I saw on the Damascus road, you sent a messenger to me.
And not a natural disaster in sight. You can explain that. Perhaps he's distracted, torturing your Christmas. Pulling his wings off. Seeing my family out there protesting and standing behind barriers, various signs, spousing the ideal for God, veiled emotion, bringing sadness. I see the results of a lifetime of hope and observation.
Appreciate it. How may I hinder?
What can you tell?
Just come around the thing. Thank you very much.
Yes, right here.
Wow, you are really developing a following.
Yeah. Cthulhu Fatagan!
Somebody else. He's another
Vote
cult.
Cthulhu!
Yeah!
Why vote for the lesser evil?
Exactly!
When I left that place in the night of my
Cthulhu is coming! Have no doubts! You will all be devoured by Cthulhu!
Cthulhu shall devour your soul if you do not believe! But he'll devour your soul if you do believe!
His worshippers will be devoured first! Join us!
Quick and mostly painless!
Join the secret cult of Cthulhu!
Join the semi-secret cult of Cthulhu! Cthulhu is coming! You will all be devoured! The prophet Lovecraft
All
has
sorts of
spoken!
protests.
Time!
Brought together by this mechanical, automatic, unconscious process, evolution by natural selection. That's not just true, I was just looking out, I'm worried about you because it looks cold. I was here at 8 a.m. and some of you were here. So I've got this incredible sort of trick. It's kind of like a mind trick. It's quite sort of spiritual thing to help you warm up. Alright, so just do what I do, right? Ready? Jump, jump, jump for Jesus. Jump for Jesus, jump for Jesus, jump for Jesus to go away. That's pretty
I tend not to write things down. I tend to I don't make it all up as I go along. I have been around the world talking my strangely crafted knowledge that I taught, and he never comes down. And this weather isn't from God. If God was in charge of the weather, what was all those tornadoes that go down the Bible Belt? What does that mean?
weather is just weather, ladies and gentlemen. So God, just come on. Why don't I don't believe in God, but if He's there, fine. Fine, okay. We just got some questions about World War II. What the fudge game was going on there? 50 million, did it have to go that high? So, I don't mean, also, if God does turn up, we do assume that He would have a deep voice. That is one thing. We do assume He would, hi, I am here, and I am God. But He could turn up and go, hello, God. And he'd have to come through the trees or something. He couldn't just walk on. He just walked on it. That's not God. So you're like, yeah, just backstage and the coffee. And it wouldn't change. No one would go, because it's kind of different to here. I know you've got God going on, and we'll from Romania talking about Eastern Europe, but we really have moved beyond God in certain. No one, interestingly, in politics, no one gets elected. In America, you've got to say God bless America. No one says God bless Europe. No one says God bless the UK. You can't get elected with that. Interesting, right? So the times they are changing. And it is a good thing. My other proof of God, that there is no God, is that God should have flicked Hitler's head off. Surely, if there is a God, He should have just flicked Hitler's head off. What is He waiting for? There were some clues there. Hitler wrote a book called Mein Kampf, which is German for I'm going to kill everyone. That's a clue. Those huge speeches at Nuremberg where he said, I'm going to kill everyone. And all the Nazis were there going, that's it. Kill everyone. Good idea. And it would be so easy for God, using the long arm, just like Monty Python, just come down and just flick Hitler's head off. And another thing. All the Nazis. His head's come off. Hitler's head. Hey guys, I think Hitler's head's come off. I think it's all over. I think his head's come off. Turn it inside out, it's good luck in India. It's an Indian symbol. Good luck. Bizarro, huh? God should have done that. Even when Mrs. Hitler, who was called Schicklgruber, I think that, when she had the baby, surely the baby should go like, hey, what do you call it? Adolf, or something. The head goes. And if people say God's not supposed to get involved, then what the fuck are we going into the buildings for and doing all the mumbling on Sundays? The Sunday mumbling must add up to something. 50 million dead. When do you come in? The German army tried to kill Hitler, and no, if God existed, no, I'm going to stop that. What? He's not there, kids. He's just not there. And also, if he is there, he could be friends. Honestly, you always assume, if English is your first language, you assume that God's gonna, I am here, but he could come down and, je suis ici. Je suis Dieu, je suis ici, maintenant. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez? Je suis le Dieu. And we'll all be going, oh, shit. I didn't do much, fine. Then he'd have to go, I was in the sky, I did not. You don't speak French? Wow. If they think he's German, they think he's German. Russian people think he speaks Russian. They obviously don't wake up. They don't have dreams of speaking English. Anyway, so you people, you've got an election coming up. So you are the thinking people. You're the self-choosing, chosen people. You know, not chosen by God. You chose using your own brain power to think, to stand up, to come out of the closet and say this stuff. You know how much it takes to do this. I'm a transvestite. I come out of 2 closets. Closets out there. So the stuff you need to know which I've learned from Wikipedia, which is really good to learn. No, it's good. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So, beginning of time, right? The beginning of time. There's two beginnings of time. There's the religious one where the world started 6,000 years ago. And then there's the science one that started 4,500 million years ago. They're not the same. They don't open the Venn diagram. If Venn was here doing Venn diagram, there's no fucking mix on that one. They're separate circles, miles apart, right? And religious people do say, well, you know, science is just full of theories. Well, religion is just full of stories. They're not even theories. Having said that, I think the stuff in the Bible, the stories are probably true. They're handed down through history. It's the mystical top coat. And then they went into crowds, had a sunspot or something like that. All that stuff up there. No, the downstairs stuff. Mr. Cheesy, Mr. Cheesy Crazy, yeah? He was a real bloke called Yeshua or Joshua. Jesus is the Greek version of the name. And if he did stuff as a human, fantastic, what an amazing thing. If he's the Son of God, he's supposed to do that. He's supposed to be magic. You know, you've got magic powers, you do water and wine. So the beginning of time, 4,500 million years ago, that's when the world started spinning, yeah, boom, boom, boom. In the religious version, it's all this Genesis, God made the world in 6 days. The first day he made jam, helicopters, baked potatoes, rabbits, fish, duck it in, helicopters and rabbits. More rabbits. Tuesday he made spoons, Krakatoa, Virgin Islands, trains, cake, socks and dung. The third day, I'm going to get a list because I'm just making shit up here. By the finish of Saturday, he'd done everything he made, stuff, everything he could. And then the seventh day he prayed, there was no one about, so he prayed to himself. Fantastic, look what I made, a big spinny thing. That's great. Then he did a bit of singing, praying the hymns. Kumbaya, myself, kumbaya. And from the 8th day, what did he do? If he exists, why did he do this beginning of time, 4,500 million years ago? From day 8 up to us, there's nothing. It's just rubbish. It's got stromatolites out there. Look them up in Wikipedia when the rain stops. It's just boring. And then there's the dinosaurs. If God made the dinosaurs, he was on crack cocaine. Jesus, look at this. Look what I made. Look at these monsters. Smoking some crack. Look at these crazy things. Jesus exists. Jesus is the 7th Son of God, yeah? Aces, B's, C's, D's, D's, S's, Jesus. Jesus is the Irish Son of God. Jesus did deliveries. Jesus. So, yeah, the dinosaurs don't make sense. They're just big, stupid monsters. Why would you make them? They do nothing. Think about this. We as human beings, we have our failings. But we have made poetry, we've sung songs, we've made bridges, we hold rallies, we do banjo stuff, we do knitting. There's a lot of stuff we do. Dinosaurs did none of that. All dinosaurs did. And we were on the Earth, you know, we've been on for about 5 million years, 2 million, 5 million. Dinosaurs, 165 million years. They were running around here, doing nothing. Just going, that's all they did, morning to night, 24/7. What's the flu? Why would you make that? And if you made it, why would you keep it going? There's no dinosaur poetry at all. There's no dinosaurs that ever went rah 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 rah. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is perfectly formed to play music instrument. Very tall, big head, big neck, big feet, big legs, small arms, small hands. Ukulele, drop it in there. Perfect. No, they didn't do any of that. And there was no dinosaur religion either. They didn't do religion. No dinosaur churches. We're pretty damn certain about that. Dinosaur makers going rah rah rah.
Can you sleep at it? Come around from me.
I was singing hymn 412, all things. Whoa, whoa.